Hey, welcome back to the Traveling Man Heirloom Lessons. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a journal. Um, my dad used to always tell me, write stuff down. And I used to say, like in a spot on my phone. No, maybe the phones weren't that advanced then. I'd say like Palm Pilot. I don't know what back then. He'd say no. He said, write it down in a notebook. Because when you write something down, physically write it down, it brings back the memory. Every time you read it, you can remember where you were. Because it's such a physical action, you can remember exactly what you were doing. And why did my dad think it was so important to write stuff down? He thought it was important because he said, that's your gauge. He said, if you're not careful, you will have an insatiable appetite for more. And there's nothing wrong with that. Having more is kind of how we're designed as humans. And he said, but it's really important because we are our own worst critic. He said it's really important to gauge success. Oftentimes today, we're enjoying what we longed for yesterday, but we fail to celebrate that. So I've been writing in this particular journal since 2010, so I guess that's about 13 years. And from time to time, I go back through and I read these pages. And what started as a journal with goals, it became something that I wrote to my wife. And every time I was away from my wife, I say every time, I hate being away from her, but every time that I was, I would write. I would write at the airport. I would write in my hotel. And a lot of it is my hopes, my dreams, my goals. And then when I read back through it, I start to find out that I've accomplished some of these things, and I fail to celebrate that. So I'm going to recommend you get a journal, you write things down, and then reread them. And it kind of lets you know where you are, how far you've come. And you'll find out that if I were to go back to 2010 or 2014, 9 years ago, what I hoped to do then, I did. And because you can picture vividly where you were when you wrote something, you realize how much you've succeeded. And success comes in a lot of different packages, but it's important to log your dreams, log your goals, your objectives, your efforts. What are you trying to do? Because you remember what you were trying to do, and then you remember the result of that. Not all of it will be perfect or success, but there's a lot of success. So get a journal, write it down, review it, look at it. Chances are you're not going to be disappointed, because what this will remind you is that you've made progress. Thanks for tuning in.